Today we are going to continue our chapter number 5, second part, the Arya in India. So in this chapter we will go to learn about the origin of the Arya and its arrival, social, economic and religious system, and then Hinduism and Buddhism and Jainism. So first, let's see, our objectives are that at the end of a lesson, student will be able to describe the origin and arrival of Aryans in India and explain the caste system and socio-economic culture of Hinduism and describe the Buddhism and Jainism as well. So first we see the Arya and origin of Aryas. So the Aryans were highly organized. The Aryans first, they came from, reached in the subcontinent through the tough terrain of the Hindu Kush mountain and in the highly organized urban people of the Indus Valley or Harappa civilization, as we learned before, who could not survive the changes in their environment and were taken over by the nomadic pastoral people who came from the northwest or in the search of grazing land from their cattle, and they settled in the Indian subcontinent between 1500 to 1000 BCE. These people called themselves Arya, a term which has to do with the language they spoke as Indo-European, and secondary means of Arya is noble of birth and race. And Indo-European or the Indo-Aryan language is a combination with the Persian, Arabic and Turk's element in its vocabulary with a grammar of local dialects. Second, the nature of Arya. Okay, when the Aryas moved from the northwest into the India, they had to fight many battles with the dark-skinned inhabitants of Arya that were called Dasi. And by nature, Aryans were called Indo-Iranian people as well, and they were warriors for the search of a new grazing land came there. So they defeat the Dasis or Dravidians of this region, a word that later came from the means slaves. So the Aryans defeated the Dasis and settled in the land of the five rivers or Punjab, and settled around the rivers of Ganges and Yamuna, and then they spread to other regions, and their small settlements turned into big cities. They were nomadic people, fought with local people called Dravidians, as I told you before. So the social and economic system of Aryans. The social and economic system were that Aryans followed joint family system, and Aryas ate both vegetable and animal food, rice, barley, beans and seasonal food, and as a staple food. The main occupation of the people were cattle rearing, and their wealth was measured in the number of cattle. They practiced agriculture too, and they worked as a goldsmith as well. Society were tribal but equal in their system. So religion, Vedic period, this religion founded by the Aryan people, and bring according to this region they religion, the foundation of the Hindu religion of Khudaya. Time to talk bus. Chuko mar khando bel. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to continue our chapter number 5, part B, the Arya in the northern in the subcontinent. So Aryans, origin and arrival in India, social, economic and religious system of the Aryans, the foundation of Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. We will continue in this lesson. So our objectives are that at the end of lesson, student will be able to describe the origin and arrival of Aryans in India and explain the caste system and socio-economic culture of Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. So first we see Aryan's origins and arrival in the a subcontinent. So basically, Aryan people marched from Central Asia toward the highly organized urban people of the Indus Valley or Harappan civilization, who could not survive the changes in their environment and were taken over by the nomadic pastoral people who came from the northwest in the search of grazing lands for their cattle. They settled in the Indian subcontinent between 1500 to 1000 BCE. These people called themselves Arya, and the terms which has to do with the language they spoke as Indo-Arya European, and the secondary meaning of Arya is noble of birth and race. The Indo-Aryan language or Indo-European language is a combination with the Persian, Arabic and Turkish elements in its vocabulary with the grammar of the local dialects. Next is nature and origin of the Arya people. By nature, Aryans were nomadic, and they were also called Indo-Iranian people, and they were warriors. And when Aryas moves from the northwest into the India, they had to fight many battles with the dark-skinned inhabitants of the India called Dases or Dravidians, a word that later came from the means slaves, and the Aryas defeated them and then settled in the land of the 5 rivers of Punjab. Social and economic system of Aryan people. Social and economic system of Aryan people, they were highly cultured in the field of in their social system. They followed joint family systems, and Aryas ate both vegetable, animal food, rice, barley, beans and sesame formed the staple food. And the main occupation of the people were cattle rearing, and their wealth was measured in number of cattle, and they practiced agriculture too, and many work as goldsmith as well. This society with the tribal were, but all the people were treated equally. Next is religion of Vedic. This religion is a religion of a Hinduism, and the foundation of the Hindu religion was led by the Aryans. The Aryans believed in many gods who provided them with bring them rain, thunder and storm. And this was Agni, a god of the god of Agni intermediated between the god and one hand of the people, and the god of Varuna. It was supposed to uphold the natural order, and the god of Soma. This was scared drink, or the god of water, Prithvi, the goddesses of earth, and Aditi, the goddesses of eternity, and Asha, the goddesses of Devan, and the Savitri, and this was also devoted the goddesses of Savitri. Okay, and these are the foundation of the foundation of the Hinduism religion based on 4 castes. And according to this caste system, they believe that the upper caste Brahmin, that a priest, is the head of the god, and Kshatriya is the heart of the god, and Vaishyas, farmer or traders, is the leg of the abdomen of the god, and Shudras is the leg of the god. So according to the Hinduism, they have a 4 caste system. The first one is Brahmin, second is Kshatriyas, third is Vaishyas, and fourth is Shudras. So according to Hinduism, Brahmin people were priests, scholars and teachers, and Kshatriyas people are warriors, kings and rulers from generation to generation. and Vaishyas from generation to generation. They are agriculturists and merchants and traders, and Shudras, who were considered as a foot of the god, were slaves, laborers, and a service provider. And this was the lowest caste. So now we see the foundation of Jainism. Mahavira founded the Jain religion. He was born in 550 BCE at Patna and came from a wealthy Kshatriya's clan, and he left his home to become a monk. He preached that one must stay away from sin and not harm anyone, as well as all the creatures and nature. Like insects, the main belief that all souls are equal. And then no violence means not to harm anyone, as well as creature in nature such as insects, plants, animals, and human beings could feel pain. And then they believed on karma. Karma means that the people, whatever they done in the first life, the second life, they will face their sins. Okay, the four main teachings of the Jainisms are non-attachment, non-violence, and self-disciplines. So the followers of the Jainism went on to become scholars and gave much attention to secular learning. Next is Buddhism. Gautama Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, was a reformer of Hindu religion. And Buddhism was considered a more peaceful religion as compared to Hinduism. And Dharma Chakra in your textbook, page number 55, and the Eightfold Path adopted by the Buddhism talk about the Four Noble Truths as well as any spread of Buddhism in the South Asia. This is the map of the spread of Buddhism in the South Asia. Now see, from northeast of Asia, it is spread toward the east part of Asia. And according to the fourth noble truth, life is suffering, and suffering is caused by greed and ignorance, and suffering can be overcome by meditation and learning, and people must follow the eightfold path. And the eightfold path is right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right concentration, and right mindfulness. So this is the teaching of